Tim. I can't wait for this amazing segment. So many crazy things going on there who deserves a no sellout shirt. You know what that person is?
Who's that, brother?
Julian Assange.
Oh man. Julian is the man. You were right, AJ. Way to start it off.
If anyone deserves this shirt right here, it's Julian Assange. You can mail it to the Ecuadorian embassy. And, you know, if he ever wants to go up in the balcony, he plugs no sellouts with Tim Black and H.A. Goodman. And, you know, hopefully there won't be a Hillary drone flying around and trying to get him. But the Hillary drone.
Right.
And so, but we know that she's a very kind human being. She would never think that. That's insane. That's crazy.
No, she would never do that. She cares so much about kids. You heard what LeBron James says. He's the unifier and the change agent, and she's about hope and love for the black kids.
Don't get me started. Michael Jordan is the best of all time. There's no comparison for me between Michael Jordan and LeBron James. But I mean, I like LeBron James. He's a great player. But I think if you're over 40 or over 35, you'd have to go with Michael Jordan, right?
You just got it, man. I can't see him touching it, man. Especially now, don't get me wrong. Like I don't want to be like, I don't know, selfish or forgetful, because he's done some great things. He's got a great foundation where he helps kids, brother, and he's like putting a lot of kids through college, like 100 kids, like at a price tag of like $100 million. But this thing right here with Hillary, no one asked him who was he vote for. He just writes op-eds, so that's different, you know. Like he jumped out there to do this.
Well, it's also interesting. It's not so much only about LeBron James. It's like, okay, you're going to endorse Hillary, fine. It's your right as an American. But then with Kaepernick, you don't help out Kaepernick at all. But you help out Hillary, who took money from prison lobbyists. And it's not for me to say, like, my vantage point is, God bless him, LeBron James. He can do whatever he wants to do, and he is a good human being, and I have nothing bad to say. But like you said, if you're going out of your way to say, oh, by the way, I'm voting for Hillary, but then you don't go out of your way in other respects, I don't know, it says something.
Yeah,
I don't know what it says.
I mean, you're right. I agree with you, H.A. You're very diplomatic. You said, hey, this guy's an American citizen. He can endorse whoever he wants to endorse. But you know what? I can talk about him if I want to, because I'm an American citizen and I have a microphone, and this is what we do. But yeah, I mean, I'm still a little bit bitter that he didn't come out and support Tamir Rice. I mean, if there's one issue you want to come out on, I mean, in your hometown, you don't say anything, so like he could have stayed out of this Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump thing. He could have stayed out of that shit.
Yeah, and even when you talk about, like, I mean, it goes from sports to even Michael Jordan. Actually, this year said, I was away from politics for so long because I didn't want to get into it. But he said, now with the killing of unarmed black people, it's too much now. Even he said something about the killing. Yeah, he did. I forgot exactly what month, but at some point this year. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be an insane election. Oh, it's already insane, but it's going to be a crazy month, because at 3 a.m. Eastern time tonight, WikiLeaks is WikiLeaks is supposed to come out with the Berlin press conference. So he was going to go out on his balcony. He's like, "Behold, people! Like, like, look what I found out." But he's like, "Nah, I don't want." You see, like, Hillary in a tree with like a BB gun,
Right.
He's like, no, because either like Sidney Blumenthal or Bill Clinton, they'll be like, hanging out trying to get this guy. But I think that it's going to be a Berlin press conference video where, look, I hope that he comes out with something along the lines of the corruption we found out. I did a segment today in my channel, basically Vox, the New York Times, all of these people, Daily Beast, their vantage point is, why does Julian Assange hate Hillary? Well, what's going on? What motive do they have to hate this wonderful humanitarian? who is advised by neoconservatives, Bush's neoconservatives, who wants to remove Assad but has no post-Assad plan, who voted for Iraq, pushed for the bombing of Libya, Honduras, all these things. And my vantage point is, well, it's not good to have hackers hack in. That's true, but if the American media isn't going to do what Tim Black's doing or what H.A. Goodman is doing, if nobody cares about corruption just because your side is corrupt, then who's watching out for America? The New York Times, the Washington Post, all these places are supposed to be doing what you're doing, Tim, and they're not doing it. What their whole job is a public relations firm, to be a public relations firm for Hillary. So yeah, is Trump, an a-hole, a buffoon for calling someone fat? Of course. But Hillary Clinton, and this is insane. There's a YouTube video of Hillary Clinton making a joke about Mahatma Gandhi, where she said he's a gas station owner, attendant, something along those lines. If Trump said that, game, set, match, over, his candidacy is done. And
I don't know about. Hold on. I don't know about that. They probably love him more. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. I mean, the right way. You're right. You're right. Maybe not. Maybe I was wrong. But you know what? They would bring it up. What I'm saying is,
they talk about it for 3 days.
They talk about it for 3 days. And the thing is, it's like the weird thing about that whole the Miss Universe thing is that they did all that research, and she had already contacted the Miss Universe, Alicia Machado. She had already contacted the Clinton campaign, had already been contacting her months before. So they set this whole thing up, and it's politics. I get it, and basically they obviously used it against him because there's a lot to use against him because he's a buffoon. He's a mean person.
Right.
If that's the case, this happened 20 years ago. Why did you go to his wedding? Why did you take money from him?
Right.
Why does Bill Clinton go golfing with him? Why did Donald Trump give to the Clinton Foundation $100,000? So it's like, my thing is, if you're Hillary Clinton, you're supposed to be better than the opposition. You didn't have to take prison lobbyist money. You didn't have to when your husband started mass incarceration. And then in April, in April, Bill Clinton sparred with Black Lives Matter. This was after the Southern primaries. So after the Southern primaries, he went ahead, and there was a protest at one of the events, and he said the crime bill helped protect people from gang violence in the inner cities. And what do you think of that craziness?
I think it's BS, man. Like, I remember when that story broke, man. I think when you and I were doing videos about it at the time, and I looked at it the same way I look at it now. The crime bill impacted a lot more people than just folks and gang members. It impacted people for smoking weed or selling weed or just being around weed or smelling like weed, and it gave a lot of people a lot of hell, and some people are still catching it because of that. And I like the fact that he waited till he was out of the South, no longer needed the black vote, and then, now it's time to drop the anvil on Black Lives Matter. And I tweeted about this over the weekend, AJ. I'm amazed, man, because I've been looking at a couple profiles of Black Lives Matter activists, like really prominent ones, the ones that really started to shine and really got name recognition. Some of those names may come to mind, but just hold them tight. They are all Hillary supporters now. All of them. They spend their days on Twitter talking badly about Trump and saying great things about Hillary. And I'm like, wow, this is really interesting what they've done. This is very, very interesting how all the Black Lives Matter, the major ones. Now, I'm not talking about some of the original founders. I'm talking about this Soros iteration of Black Lives Matter activists who jumped in front of the cameras, who were like implanted by the DNC in certain positions, or I would say by the Democrats who they gave respectability to, because when Black Lives Matter launched, there were people on the ground who have nothing to do with the people that you've been seeing in front of the camera that go on, these news networks. So, but yeah, man, Bill Clinton, it's all politics, in my opinion. Everything that the Clintons do.
It's all politics. And an interesting segue, what correlates to what you just said, Tim, is this. Why does America need something like WikiLeaks? Because in one of their DNC emails, it was either Guccifer or WikiLeaks. There's so many hackers that are hacking. It's like I lost track.
400-pound hackers in their basement, right?
Exactly. Exactly. And so, and they're all white males, Tim. They're all
Gotta
white
be.
males.
Gotta be white males. Gotta live in the basement. Gotta be obese. Morbidly obese.
Fat,
100 pounds is a lot of weight, Trump.
exactly. Fat Russian white male hackers. But yeah, the DNC circulated a memo, and the memo was literally stated: it was tactics on how to deal with Black Lives Matter to Democratic politicians, and the memo actually stated, don't invite too many of them. Don't have too many.
We can't have all these Negroes coming up here wanting to talk about their rights, can we? We can't have that.
It said, don't invite too many. Make it a small setting. But then, dude, and this is the insidious, vile, disgusting, horrible part. Don't offer concrete policy positions. That's verbatim. But listen to their concerns, which is basically like an FU. It's like an FU to everything. So the thing is, if the rationale, the vantage point is Trump is evil, yeah, Hillary is bad, but at least Hillary will protect you. And the Democratic Party is basically saying, just listen, don't offer anything concrete. That basically sums up Hillary Clinton's campaign. And it doesn't actually make the Democrats better than Trump. It actually shows that they're in many ways just as bad as Trump.
It might even worse, because if you don't listen to me, I don't get my hopes up. If you don't listen to me, then I know where we stand. And that's my thing always, if you are a bigot, just let it be known. I like outward bigots.
Exactly.
I like the ones that you see coming, you know what you're dealing with, and you don't have to, have this false sense of security. When you walk away, they're like, bleep, bleep. I don't want that. Be honest. And I don't know if Trump is a racist. He's doing a good imitation of a bigot, though. But at least we know what he's about. Okay? And at least apparently, based on what he says. But Hillary is the opposite. It's sort of like the basement dweller thing. I know you got something for that, man.
Oh,
but they're saying that some people have been saying, no, she didn't mean it in a bad way. Just because you said you still live with your parents and you're the lost generation, and it was a good way. She was empathetic to you poor deplorables, you poor basement dwellers. She meant it in the nicest way possible.
Tim, Hillary Clinton doesn't say good morning without a political motive. So if she wakes up in the morning and says good morning to somebody, there's some kind of political thing. So every word that she says, especially, first of all, number one, and this is what Vox and all the other public relations firms, New York Times, they don't get. It was at a fundraiser. She was trying to get money, and it was during the time when Bernie was surging. And people were, money. Right. She was trying to get money. And it was the time when Bernie was surging. And this crazy thing happened. It was called, people had ideals. And people said, you know what, let's try to get single payer. All Americans will be covered. Let's try to break up the banks to make sure that, there's not another financial crisis. Let's try to reinstate Glass-Steagall. Let's try to ban private prisons. Let's try to ban fracking. Let's try to stop the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Hillary Clinton's entire speech is not only, the whole thing was condescending. It wasn't just the basement. First of all, Tim, why didn't she just say, the guest house? Why did she have to say the basement? She couldn't say the living room?
In their flat, or in their one bedroom, or on their dorm room. It's a lot of things she could have said, but she wanted to paint them as these derelicts, these untouchables, these malcontent, creeping, trolling weirdos that hate women.
This is the thing. She wanted to paint every Bernie supporter as a pasty white male in the dungeon, in the basement, and with an internet connection trolling innocent Hillary supporters online.
And the worst thing about it is, it's the opposite.
It's the opposite.
She's the one hiring Correct the Record, which is nothing but a bunch of trolling bastards in their pajamas.
This is exactly
the business of $1 per troll.
Exactly.
Or people like me and you, AJ. You know what I'm saying?
Can I tell you, between me and you, we at least got $200,000 of that $1 million.
I can't keep them employed, brother. I keep those bastards employed every day.
But exactly, the thing is, this is like the Orwellian kind of. So, if you dare throughout this whole election, from the very beginning until now, if you dare said to a Hillary supporter on Twitter, if you said, you know what, Hillary's a horrible candidate, I think Bernie would win. What? You're a Republican? How dare you? Then if you went back at them and you say, hey, wait, don't call me a Republican, they say, you're a Bernie bro, you're being rude, you should calm down. I can't believe these people are so insulting. So it's like, well, wait a second, I'm a human being too. So I can go ahead and have my own viewpoint. I don't need to like walk on eggshells with somebody I don't know online. And then we have correct the record, like you said, paying $1 million to troll people. And imagine, like my thing is like, imagine if Bernie paid $1 million. Imagine if Bernie Sanders came out and he says, yeah, by the way, we're paying $1 million to troll people. Oh my God! But
never get the end of it. You're right.
You know what? It's the normal. It's this new normal. Like FBI criminal investigation, all good.
It's just a little thing. You know, hey man, everybody gets investigated by the FBI for criminal wrongdoings. You know that whole thing is a catastrophe. But my thing is, Hillary, all of these things are unforced errors, AJ. I talked about it earlier today on my live stream. It's like she brings this on herself, and still the establishment blames people like you and I for the downfall of Hillary Clinton. No one told her to go out with the basket of deplorables line. No one put that in her mouth. She said that, and you know what? She didn't say that off the cuff. The deplorable basket of deplorables or the basement dwellers. She said that in prepared statements, brother. That was her ammo. So when they talk about what we do, no. When you gonna look at your candidate?
Exactly, 100%. And not only that, when she made that, and that's a great point. When she said that basket of deplorables, you have like pretty respected writers on the left. Okay, I'm not going to name them, but they're pretty respected. And they said, well, you know, it's actually true. And that might be the extreme right. It could be some, but then they came out with studies or polls, Tim, where Democrats weren't or a little less racist, but they were still like 30%, 40% had the same viewpoints. Yep. So whereas like the deplorable Republican, it was 50% or 40% felt this about black people. With Democrats, it was 30%. Or 35%. And so it's like, that's what it's come to. It's not that Hillary is not racist. She's less, her campaign is less racist. So she already used racism against Barack Obama. Her campaign manager said in a memo, paint him as un-American. You were born in the Midwest. He was born in, we don't know, Kenya or Hawaii. So he actually said that in the memo. It said something to the effect, this is a wartime. We need a wartime president. We need somebody who was born on American, had roots, American roots. Okay. And so you have to paint Obama as not having American roots. This is her campaign strategy in 2008. In addition to the 3 a.m. man, in addition to spreading a photo of Barack Obama in African attire. The thing that I don't like is, like you said, Tim, if it happens on the left, see, I know that Trump is who he is, or the Republicans are who they are. And the whole alt-right thing, these people were voting for Romney, they just weren't telling you on Twitter. So it's not like suddenly they just existed. It's not like, you know, these people suddenly popped out now because they have like green frogs, right? There's a great old green frog thing. And so they were voting for they were voting for Romney. They were voting for McCain. They were voting for Bush.
Ronald Reagan, Bush, the whole thing. Yeah, I mean, there's a slither of voters that go the other way no matter what you do. But my thing is, Hillary is the one trying to court these types of voters. She's the one who has turned her back on the far left and the middle left, in my opinion, and went to the right. So she's right of center, and she's looking at the low-hanging fruit on the Republican side of the game. And now she's really hearing it. Did you see how Bernie went around trying to avoid? I'm not going to say went around. How poor Bernie had to go try to do damage control.
Yeah,
he tried, you know, but a little bit of Bernie came out. He was like, the very beginning of the interview, I think Jake Tapper said, well, what did you think about the comment where she demeans your supporters? He says, well, of course I don't like that. You know,
yeah.
Uh-oh. And so now Bernie and Hillary are not doing any campaigns together, any more campaign rallies together in the foreseeable future. I just heard that.
Well, yeah, I mean, but also Jane Sanders Bernie's wife, tweeted the most amazing tweet, and it was basically saying, yeah, you know, do your own research. Have a nice day. Like, do your own research. Okay, bye. Like, and it was like, we know what doing the research means. And you do, I just, you know, Hillary neocon, Google, or Hillary Iraq, Google, or Hillary gay marriage. She was against gay marriage up until 2013.
Man, so many people don't know what we know, AJ. They just don't know it. I sent out a tweet earlier, yesterday, when I was telling folks, like, you know what, I just had it up to here. I'm like, you know what? You guys got to support what I do, because I got to talk to black folks in the inner city and let them know they're being lied to. Somebody's got to tell them. They don't know this stuff, man. I'm telling you, the most of Americans do not know. Look, LeBron James don't know about the Clinton Foundation. He runs the foundation. I know he would have a problem with Hillary if he knew that there is a lot of gray areas, so to speak, between the foundation and her job as Secretary of State. Do you think LeBron James is bribing people with season tickets if they give to the foundation? It may be a perk, but he's not in the government office. But yeah, like you can sit exactly. You can sit on the, you know, you can join the government and help, you know, decide our foreign policy if you give me money to my campaign, or I'm going to give you this type of arms deal if you, or oil deal or whatever if you give to my foundation. And I know LeBron doesn't know about it, and not only LeBron, most Americans don't know about it. You know, so it's sad, AJ. It really is, man. We need to wake people up.
We need to wake people up. It is sad, 100%. And you know what? You know what's even more depressing than already what you said, which is pretty bad already.
Oh man, I'm scared to hear it, AJ. What is it?
the people who do know don't care.
Oh,
so that is the worst.
That is depressing.
It's so depressing because the thing is, like you can literally debate with people and you'd be like, Hillary called black youth super predators. Hillary took prison lobbyist money. Hillary voted for Iraq. She's advised by neocons. Well, Trump is worse. I'm like, okay, Trump's tax returns. Yeah, Trump's tax returns.
What did he do worse? Well, he called a woman fat one time.
Yeah, he called her.
She gained 70 pounds. Hold on, cut the crap. Look, I love women, and I respect my mom, respect wifey, my sister, all of them. But if you gain 70 pounds in less than a year, right, somebody might call you fat. Now, I know it's rude. But if I gain if I gain 10 pounds, people gonna tell me you're getting fat, buddy. They do it to me all the time, right? And they don't pay me. Now, if you just win something based on looks, right? Let's kill it, man. That beauty pageant is not about what you got upstairs. It's about what you got downstairs and right here. So that's what it is. And if you sign up for it, it's not like she's being shamed like the woman walking down New York and they're following her and she got all this setup crap going on. That was the whole setup with that one. But anyway, the whole, you know, catcalling women and all that. That's not the situation. This is a woman who went into a contest about superficiality. That's what beauty contests are about. She went into that and won. And now she's the spokesperson for this thing. And I'm not saying he's a good guy. He's not. It's really hard to defend him. I'm not trying to defend him. All I'm saying, guys, is, look, people have been tweeting at me about it, and I'm just going to keep it honest. It's not the worst thing in the world to say someone is fat.
And all you have
I say it to myself often.
And all you have to do to say, if anybody tweets you about that, say two things. In America, if Trump calls someone fat, oh my God, it's the end of the world. Hillary votes for the Iraq War. Because of the Iraq War, the chaos, 500,000 people, by one estimate, have died in Iraq. Then, Saudi Arabia gives Hillary $10 to $25 million to her foundation, gets the weapons deal. In Saudi Arabia, women cannot drive, or maybe they just got the chance to vote. They couldn't vote. They can't drive. And I think up until recently, or I think it's recently, in Saudi Arabia, women cannot leave the country without a male chaperone. So it's like all of these things that have to do with human lives or women's
They don't matter,
rights.
AJ. They don't matter. Did he hurt someone's feelings? We want to talk about feelings. We don't want to talk about lives that were lost. Oh, no, that's too deep for us. Let's just talk about feelings and how he hurt Rosie O'Donnell's feelings. And believe me, I think it's I don't know. I like Joan Sessions. I love comedy like that. Okay, but what's more important and what's more damaging to someone's character, from my view, would be actually wars. And let's not talk about Iraq. They're trying to conflate and equate him being on a radio station as a regular person without any access to
oh my God,
any military documents, any evidence, and saying, well, and he said, like, yeah, I guess so. As far as going into Iraq, when Howard Stern asked him, he said, well, I guess so. You know, they're trying to make it the same as Hillary being briefed with all the intelligence and making the same decision.
And that is such a great point. Can I tell you, I have never seen a more rabid, just like it was a bunch of crack addicts at the Washington Post or New York Times, because I've never seen a fact check. Oh my God, fact check. And they're like, yeah, you were on Howard Stern and you said this fat and all that stuff. Meanwhile, Hillary, throughout the election, was like, I used a private server that was unencrypted, connected to a BlackBerry the NSA said I couldn't use, and I had 22 top secret emails on there for convenience. It was for convenience, and nobody fact checks. Yeah, nobody fact checks whether it's convenience. Then she mailed. I always talk about this on my channel, Tim. Did you hear about this? This is in Bloomberg. I'm not making this up. Okay, and this is the weird. Because you can't really fact check this, because it's kind of like her word, and then the FBI is like, cool, that's cool, no problem. They mailed, Tim, hear me out on this, okay, hear me out. And to your amazing subscribers and anyone watching, look it up, go to Google right now, Bloomberg. They mailed a laptop. Bill Clinton's staff mailed a laptop with 4 years of her emails in the frickin' mail. They put the laptop in the mail, and she told the FBI it was lost in the mail. And the FBI, I don't know, UPS, FedEx, I don't know, Tim. Oh, remember that's what I told you when what's his name? Okay, yeah, I did the whole thing. Yeah, contact Tim or I if they But the thing is, like, my thing is this: it's like, yeah, Trump is a buffoon. He says dumb things, and Hillary mails a laptop in the mail, and everyone's like, that's cool. Whatever. And the FBI, you basically, like, she told the FBI, they're like, well, what happened to your laptop? She's like, I mailed it, I put it in the mail. And the FBI was like, oh, okay, let me write that down. Oh, okay, cool. No intent, no indictments.
She didn't intend to mail the laptop. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, they didn't intend to put the laptop in the mail.
They didn't intend for the mailman to come pick up the laptop.
Exactly. They actually just put it out for the city. But
this is rich. This is so rich. What about the taxes, AJ? Look, my take on the whole tax thing with Trump is this. This is the problem with corporations as they exist now. Yeah. Where have you people been? When we've been every election, they talk about closing tax loopholes. These are the loopholes that we've been talking about for as long as I've been voting age, okay? And they're still open, and people still use them. Now, you can't fault a guy for legally not paying taxes. You can fault a guy for illegally not paying taxes. And I don't like Trump. Like AJ says, he's a buffoon, he's a buffoon, he's a buffoon. But if the guy's a businessman, and he takes advantage of something that all businesses can do, how can you say he's so horrible for doing that? And that's what I'm saying. It's just they're so hypocritical.
They're so hypocritical. You're 100% right. And everything you said makes me think of it this way. This is how effed up our political system is in America. Bernie Sanders says, I want to break up the banks and reinstate Glass-Steagall because these corporations have too much power in terms of the tax system and in terms of making the rules so they benefit. Hillary says, you're crazy. It'll never happen. It's unrealistic.
Crazy old man. You kooky old man. Go back to Back in the Future.
Exactly. You're shouting, and you pointed at me, sexist. So that's bad, right? With Hillary, you can't win. If it's Trump, and then Bernie was like so nice. He was like, may I just get a word in?
He's like, the whole time he's like this, and he's trying not to cut over and go, look, excuse me. Finally, like, just get her. And O'Malley, the worst was when O'Malley was on the stage. It's like, I might as well just go home now. I might as well just go home because she's going to just keep talking and lying.
It's never good. It's never good, Tim, when you're debating and then you're O'Malley. You're like, can I get a word in? Can I get a word in edgewise?
You're gonna drop out anyway, O'Malley.
Yeah, exactly. but the thing is, it's like, so when you want to actually do something, so Elizabeth Warren, who, you know, Elizabeth
no,
Warren,
finish your thought.
Well, yeah,
So Bernie was the guy who was saying these are the things we need to stop. Hillary was against it and called him crazy. And now when you find out Trump used that same thing.
Exactly.
Oh,
so now it's, so now it's,
the devil.
Yeah, he didn't pay taxes well. If you break up banks, they don't have the influence on laws pertaining to loopholes of taxes and corporations overseas not paying all these taxes and all these things. If you try to remove that power that the corporations have in Washington, in Congress, and Elizabeth Warren said that Citigroup actually wrote a part of a bill that Obama passed in 2014, a spending bill. And so it's like this whole thing, nobody looks at the big picture. Everyone says he didn't pay taxes. Oh, and this is another thing. Right before the election, before Newsweek came out, and there's a writer in Newsweek who wrote about how Bernie Sanders supporters were this violent mob. Okay, this is the guy who wrote in Newsweek about the Cuba thing, that Trump he did business in Cuba. Well, they did that because Hillary was about to lose Florida. So he was 2 points up in Florida. Then the Newsweek did that piece. Now she's like 2 points up, or a point and a half up. But the whole thing is, that same writer, after the Nevada, the quote-unquote incident where Bernie Sanders supporters were rioting and killing people and raping and pillaging, okay? And that nobody was, like, arrested, and, like, somebody picked up a chair and, like, put it down gently, you know, and people were saying bad things, and meanwhile, like, you and I get, like, you know, hate mail, and people are, like, threatening us, and, you know, all the time. That same writer who wrote the story about Cuba wrote about Bernie in Newsweek, get control of your mob or get out, Bernie. So the same people who hate Trump are the same people who hated Bernie, by and large. I'm talking about the people on the left who are like, Bernie is a joke, da-da-da-da. These are the same people who hate Trump. And I'm thinking to myself, it's not about Bernie Sanders or Trump. It's not about left or right. It's about one person, Hillary Clinton. That's it. It's about one person. Because the thing is, that kind of, the belief is that she's qualified. She's not qualified at all. You can't even, when Mark Cuban says, oh, you know, she's great and everything, Mark Cuban wouldn't hire someone with an FBI criminal investigation in their background. Mark Cuban, in any of his companies, Mark Cuban wouldn't allow anyone to have their own private server.
With access to his government. Putting his company special, information, proprietary information on a private server. He wouldn't allow that.
Because those companies,
damn good point, AJ. Yeah. You're a writer, aren't you?
Hey, you're a writer too. But the thing is, like, you know, it's like these people in Silicon Valley, they go into each other's dumpsters and they like take like the shredded paper and they put shredded paper together. This is how insane, like, the competitive intelligence is for companies. Mark Cuban would never allow somebody like Hillary Clinton as an employee. But that's the thing. People say, well, what's the deal with the emails? It's just an email. It's top secret information that pertains to fighting ISIS. And that was on a server you wouldn't even put your bank account information on.
You know what? They don't care if lives are in jeopardy. They don't care if people lose their lives. All they care about is winning. And it's like you said earlier. It's extremely sad that we have regular Americans who put winning for this woman who they do not know, right, above the interest of lives of children all across this country and all across this world. And that is the horrible fact of the matter.
That's the horrible fact, and they have this, like you said, it's this weird allegiance. It's just this weird allegiance, and it has nothing to do with, like you said, I think you mentioned a while back, you said this whole progressive label, it doesn't exist anymore.
Man, I'm thinking about changing the title of my channel, man, again. And just taking it. I'm serious, man, because anybody can be progressive, man. It's like, it's just a thing. I thought, I thought it identified who I was, But the other people, some people that have it, have the title, like the people who this weekend went on FaceTime and were talking about, well, no, what really Hillary meant by basement dweller was actually a positive, and she meant it this way. I mean, I can't believe that person is considered progressive.
Well,
you know, like, so screw it. I'm just Tim Black, man.
You should. Hey, Tim Black that's all you need. But the thing is, like, you know, my thing is, this is how crazy it is. This is how insane that word has, like, been redefined. On Twitter a while back, it didn't even get into a real debate. It was more like some guy who was an Occupy Wall Street dude. This is an Occupy Wall Street. The movement that was basically spat on by the establishment Democrats and Republicans. Okay? An Occupy Wall Street guy, he said, oh, well, I'm voting for Hillary because Trump is crazy. And in my head, I'm like, well, you could vote for Jill Stein, you know. And that's the thing. I mean, Dr. Jill Stein, first of all, I respectfully say this to anyone voting for Gary Johnson, don't do it, because he can't name a world leader, and he wants to be president. So I don't know, and he didn't know. Fine, if he didn't know the city in Aleppo and Syria with everything going on there, but then he's like, Chris Matthews is just Chris Matthews asked, like, what's your favorite world leader, and he couldn't name one. Theresa May, somebody, anybody, he couldn't name one. But
dead or living. Dead or living, like ever.
They're living, and then he said,
just don't pick Hitler, you know.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, yeah, don't pick Stalin, don't pick Hitler. But the thing is, like, Dr. Jill Stein, this is what I find also very amusing / offensive and sad. When Hillary did that dumb shimmy, right? The shimmy, and she practiced, she practiced that thing 7,500 times in the mirror, Tim. It was not like an instinctual thing, right?
Right.
So the New York Times did, I swear to God, I did a segment on this, like a romance novel, Tim. Oh, the shimmy. It was so instinctual. It was so wonderful. And it was like nauseating. Like reading it was like nauseating. Meanwhile,
that's how bad it is, man. That's how bad. Hey, Jay, that's how desperate they are to try to make Hillary have some form of charisma.
Exactly,
you know, something that I would do, like on my show, and not even remember doing it. She doesn't. It's like they write books about it.
Yeah,
you know,
because you
like,
know what?
Drink wine and watch it over and over. Look at Hillary. Oh, she isn't a robot. She's actually a person with a soul somewhere there.
That's debatable, but yeah. I mean, the thing is, she, you know what the problem is, Tim? The hot sauce isn't working. It's not working. The hot sauce is not working.
She need to get that. She need to get some of that Frank's, or she needs to get some of that. You know, what's that man? Damn, I can't even think of it. But yeah, she needs to get off that dollar store brand and get the real hot sauce, man. The expensive stuff.
That's the thing. And meanwhile, while she's doing like the shimmy that she practiced 1,000 times in the mirror, Jill Stein is like battling like security. Okay, she's trying to get into the debates. She's battling security. She stands for something. She's inviting WikiLeaks to speak at the convention, or Green Party. She's doing all these things. She's talking about. She has Black Lives Matter in her platform.
Right.
Okay. She is like so unafraid, full Washington Post. Everybody's totally did a number to try to demean her. Everything, but it's not sexist when you attack Susan Sarandon or Jill Stein or Rosario Dawson or Nina Turner. It's never sexist. Don't you? You notice that the progressives never say that's sexist. Okay? Like, there's one website that hates me, but I don't care. But there's one website out there that they have articles. I'm telling you, Tim, it's like Jill Stein is full of, you know what?
Oh, I know you're talking about those scumbags.
Yes, the scumbags. And I'm saying, wait a second. Where is the sexism when you attack women that you don't agree with? It's not sexist, but when Bernie points, the poor guy pointed, and he raised his voice a little bit during the debate because he cared about actually saving humanity from climate change and all that stuff. That's sexist. So the thing is, it's like Hillary Clinton's campaign has redefined anything, and you said it, you hit the nail on the head. It is all about winning. And if they have to devour the left, like they ate up Warren, then Bernie, because Bernie ran as a Democrat, so it's like Hillary's like Miss Pac-Man, just like gobbling up everybody. If they have to get George H.W. Bush to vote for her, all good.
You're right.
All good. So the thing is, it's like there is no such thing in this election as progressive. It's either, I'll leave you with this. This is a crazy thing. The Nation magazine, okay? This is in the 70s. The Nation actually put a cartoon, a really, really kind of, raunchy, crazy cartoon, and at even the staff in the 70s, this is when Henry Kissinger was like bombing Cambodia and doing all these insane things in Vietnam. Okay, they had a cartoon of Henry Kissinger, and the cartoon was him basically kind of raping or having sex with the planet, like screwing humanity. Okay, screwing humanity. This is how much the Nation hated Kissinger.
Wow.
Kissinger is now not only advised, according to the New York Times, advised Hillary Clinton during her Secretary of State. He is close friends, will be advising her when she's president, and the Nation backs Hillary Clinton. The Nation could have backed Jill Stein, but they're a bunch of phonies. And that's the thing. It's not that if you don't back Jill Stein, you're a phony. That's not the point. It's not if you don't back Bernie, you're a phony. But if you work, so you get a neocon, a person who is beholden to Wall Street, a person who's a liar, a person who defended a child rapist, all these crazy things.
Right.
You work hard for that person, you're a phony and a fake. I mean, that's
exactly. I mean, if you've been eating and dining at the table of progressivism, and you've been saying, I'm this liberal, democratic, whatever, and I believe in these ideals, and now when you have a candidate that matches with the rhetoric that you've been spewing all this time, and you decide, no, I'm not going to go with the candidate that matches me. I'm going to go with the candidate I think who's going to give me some money or give me some influence. But then you are a hypocrite. You are a hypocrite. And also, if you are a media entity and you jump from camp to camp, which this hot right now, this is where I'm at. Oh, this one's getting steam. I'm over here now. Oh, things look bad. Oh, gotta jump over here. Got the hot foot. If people call you out on it, they're not the problem. You're the problem. You could just be like, look, we don't choose sides. We just do the thing. But if you're going to choose a side and you jump around, people lose respect for you. That's not Tim Black's fault. That's not H.A. Goodman's fault. That's just the way people are. There are some people with this thing, you may have heard of it, it's called integrity. They like to see that in other people, even if they disagree with them from time to time. But when you lack integrity and you jump around, no one knows your position. It's like flipping a freaking coin.
Exactly. And you said it 100%. And you know what? Another thing pertaining to integrity is this. The notion that we're never going to have a Republican is insane.
Ever.
It's insane because the thing is, it's insane because the thing is like, even if the vantage point is, well, I have to vote for Clinton because Trump is worse and he's a Republican and that's just the way the game is played. How about taking a stand to make sure that you're going to have 4 years of Trump who will get nothing done, nothing. You get 4 years of Clinton, controversy. I mean, she has pissed off and angered whatever was once referred to as progressive base or whatever you want to call it. People who have integrity are pissed off at Clinton and not voting for Clinton or not doing everything possible for Hillary. These people are pissed off and they vote for a Democrat. And they're going to be even more pissed throughout the 4 years when every other scandal, every other controversy, the Republicans are going to try together. After 4 years, you're looking at 8 years of a Republican. So my thing is, if you're playing chess, you almost want Trump to win because he's a buffoon. He'll get nothing. He'll get nothing done. When I say nothing, I mean the 60-vote Senate. Nothing. He's not all the border wall, $60 billion for it. No one's going to pay for that. So the thing is, he's a big talker, and the thing is, in 4 years of him, 8 years of a Democrat, And eventually you're going to have a Republican. It's most likely going to be after a Clinton presidency that's full of controversy, full of scandal, and where all the traditional Democrats, like you, like me, like other people, will never again vote for Hillary Clinton, ever. In fact, the Democratic exit, people are going to the Green Party. Like, this whole election the Green Party's growing. And they still, people say, oh, Jill Stein's at 3%. No, she has to be way more than 3%. Because every time you hear Gary Johnson, you hear Jill Stein. So she has to be at 5 or 6%. Just, so the thing is, the Green Party grows. And the only way for the Democratic Party to really split is the Green Party growing. And then you have a movement of, you know what, F this. I'm not going to go with the corporatists or the neocons, Democrats. I'm going to go with the Green Party. The only thing, my vantage point also is Hillary loses this election. The quote-unquote real progressives take control or have a greater influence in the Democratic Party. And the next candidate is going to be somebody like Bernie. I swear to God, I think Nina Turner should run. I think Tulsi Gabbard should run for president. I think that you need somebody real, because you can't have any fake people anymore in the Democratic Party.
That day is coming, gone. That ship is sailed, brother. When I say we treat these politicians like the children they've been trying to treat us as, that's what I feel like whenever I hear Hillary Clinton, when I hear Barack Obama, President Obama talking to us, wagging his finger and doing this thing. You think we're the children? No, let's treat them like children, ladies and gentlemen, and let's send them to their room for the next 4 years until they get their crap together, because we're not going to take that type of disobedience out of the people that we employ. See, we employ them. They don't employ us, and that's part of the problem. But yeah, we employ them. They work for us. And since they're not fulfilling their duties, they're not going to school on time. They're not cleaning their room, They're taking the car out on weekends. They're doing their studies. So let's go ahead and ground them for 4 years. You don't say, well, let's just send them right back out there, because what the hell, No, man, they got to learn a lesson. They don't own us. We own them.
Absolutely.
Or they can quit.
Absolutely.
Last word, AJ. Tell them something, brother.
Well, Tim, I thank you for all that you do, and I'm going to try to. I know this month is going to be crazy. I'll leave you really quickly. What do you think of President Obama telling Colin Kaepernick, think of all the harm, the hurt that you're giving to military families? This is Obama who sent soldiers back to Iraq, thousands. Soldiers in Syria, we got soldiers in Afghanistan. They're stuck there, and Clinton wants to intensify this. It's insane. It's crazy.
But Colin is the one who needs to think about the pain he's causing by protesting during the national anthem. Man, President Obama has a problem, and that problem is he's a hypocrite. Okay? And that's just a plain and simple. And I'm tired of hearing people carry water for him. The guy has been a major disappointment on so many levels. And if you really cared about vets, you make sure they were taken care of when they came home, sir. Yes, you make sure of that. You make sure they have a place to stay. And we go get them off the street. They're homeless. And you know what hurts them more than someone kneeling or sitting during the flag? It's bullets. The bullets they've been catching in these, not war. Somebody said, well, they're not really wars they set up to. It's not really war. Well, you know what?
God.
When you go somewhere and someone's shooting at you, I don't know what the name you want to give that, a conflict, a situation, a disagreement, okay? But it's a war to me. And those servicemen and women would rather be home with their children, just like you watching Walking Dead, man. So that's painful, and that's what should be said. But how many Democrats stood up and said that? Not us, not regular people. I'm talking about establishment media. How many of them stood up and said that?
Nobody. Establishment media is the whole thing, Tim, is this. There's Tim Black, there's H.A. Goodman, but then there's it's a public relations firm for Hillary. It's not, when you see these quote-unquote journalists or reporters, they have one goal in mind. The first goal, knock out Bernie. That took place. They knocked out Bernie. Second goal, knock out Jill. Third goal, knock out Trump and make sure Hillary wins at every effing possible moment, do everything possible to make sure Hillary wins. Call it journalism. Call it, these Walter Cronkite and these people are the farthest thing from each other, because we don't have a media that is a watchdog. We have a media that
a lapdog.
A lapdog, exactly. So they're not a watchdog, they're a lapdog. And you know what? It's like that's why you're important. That's why our message.
That's why you're important, my brother. You're important too, AJ. People love you, man.
Man, people, thank you so much, and people love you, Tim. And you know what? When you live in a country, do you know how many people, Tim, are waiting for WikiLeaks? It's crazy.
I don't even think I'm gonna go to sleep. I think I'm gonna be up. I'm gonna drop a video. Look,
yeah.
Because at 3, you said 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah. So that's
okay. So that's good for you, man. You'll be bright-eyed at 11.
Yeah, I don't sleep at night anyway, because I like, I'm like, every night I don't sleep. But the thing is, like, there are so many people who are just, waiting. It's like, tickets to a concert. It's like, and these are quote unquote progressive to the left. So the right wing, they're just like, F it, we give up. It's the left that's like, please save us. Please save us. Anyone can save us from Hillary. So we're waiting for WikiLeaks, and we'll see. Maybe he's gonna say something. Maybe he won't, but maybe he will. He said before the election, so we'll see what takes place.
That's it, brother. That's it. Well, look, guys, man. I want to AJ I know you do this every week, but we got new viewers all the time. So tell them how to find H.A. Goodman and where to go follow you.
On YouTube, it's just H.A. Goodman. You type in on YouTube, and that's my channel. And my website is hagoodman.com. You can see all my writing. And Tim, I love you, man. Thank you so much.
Love you too, brother. Thank you so much, man, for being here. H.A. Goodman, ladies and gentlemen, that's our guy, man. And this has been this edition of No Sellouts, guys. Check us every Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with H.A. and I. Just tell the truth. It's not, it's no rocket science to this, man. We just call it like we see it. We do our research, we come, we add some fire, and we just tell it. And we give it up to you to make your own decisions. Do us a favor. Fact check us. That's right. Don't just listen to us. Fact check us. Everyone deserves to be fact checked. And I believe once you fact check it, you'll find out that we are a reliable source of information. We just give it to you in a different way. All right, guys, look, I know you're going to be on pins and needles waiting for the WikiLeaks latest release. I will be too. I can't wait to hear what he has to say or what information is going to be out there. And I'm looking for this to be the true thing that exposes Hillary for the neoliberal that she is. Look, I never wanted her to be this way, but I'm not a fool. My eyes do see, my ears do hear, and I smell some BS and I hear some lies, and I'm tired of it, so I'm speaking out on it. Hope you follow me. Go to TimBlackTV.com and subscribe to me there. Also, if you like this content, you like what HA and I do, why don't you pick up a No Sellout shirt? You can find it on TimBlackTV.com merchandise. That's TimBlackTV.com merchandise. If you are a contributor to the show, I want you to know that you are highly valued, man. I really appreciate you. It's because of you that I'm able to continue to do what I'm doing and reach more people every month. All right, guys. That's it for No Sellouts. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also, look out for a new video I got coming tonight where I reignite Judge Tim Black. You're going to love it. All right, guys. I'm done. That's a wrap. And like I always say, don't you let nobody take your cornbread or your vote. Booyah.